Welcome back, everyone. We are now pleased to welcome Attorney Pat Rooney, candidate for the 24th Judicial District Court, Division B, judge's race. Mr. Rooney currently resides in Jefferson Parish, where he has raised his family. He has practiced law in Louisiana for the past 30 years in both civil and criminal cases. He owns his own practice, and he has 7 offices across southeast Louisiana. Very successful. Thank you for being here, Mr. Rooney. Shall we get started with our questions?
Absolutely, I appreciate the opportunity.
Great. Okay, so first of all, tell our viewers a little bit more about your background and experience that you believe sets you apart from your opponent as the better person to serve as judge. And what about your past suggests you will serve this community well in the future in the role of judge if elected?
Well, first, my educational background, Jesuit High School. I went to undergraduate and law school at LSU. I've been married for 29 years to Marianne, lived in Jefferson Parish my entire time of being married, raised 2 children, which I think is very important. I've coached in the playgrounds, which I think is very important to offer your time into the community, which is very important to me. But my legal background of this civil and criminal litigation, I've handled thousands of cases personally in 17 different parishes. We've handled exactly what the district courts handle. Felonies, family law, successions, contracts, you name it, I've handled it. I've learned a lot by going to the different parishes. I've learned what works, what doesn't work in the courts. I'm familiar with the people that come before the district courts, the attorneys, understand that their time is as important as anyone else's time. A client's time is probably more important because they're missing work. And understand that we have to move the cases. We have to keep the costs down for the clients because attorneys, unfortunately, have to be paid while they're in court.
Thank you. All right, next question. What do you think is the most important role for a judge that the judge plays in our community? How are you qualified, do you believe, to fulfill that role?
I think it's very important that a judge be prepared, obviously be fair and impartial. But being prepared sounds simple, but it's not. There are many different cases that are going to come before me in district court. As we stated, criminal and civil litigation. To sit here and say I know every law, well, obviously no one knows every law. So you need to be prepared for the case that's going to come before you. That means you have to do preparation, being a judge. You need to know the issues, you need to know the law. And that way, when you do have to have a trial, you're prepared to make a decision. And again, by being prepared to make a decision and being prepared, knowing the issues, it's going to make the process better for all parties.
Very good. Next question. Do you believe that all citizens have adequate access to legal help in our legal system, including in the courthouse and where it's based in Gretna? If not, what can be done to provide wider and better access to the courthouse and to justice?
I think it is difficult for lower or middle income families to afford good legal help. Personally, our firm, Southern Legal Clinics, we've helped thousands of families, thousands of individuals in lower or middle income situations. How can we change that? You can't force attorneys to work pro bono all the time. You cannot force an attorney to charge lower fees. I guess it comes from inside the person. Most attorneys are out there to help the general public. Could we help by having more funds being sent to the pro bono projects, things of that nature? I'm sure it could. But I think it's education to the attorneys. Attorneys have to be educated that, that people that come before the courts, again, their time is money. They cannot always afford the highest priced lawyers. They don't need to afford the highest priced lawyers because they will need access like everyone else. And again, it's educating the attorneys educating the clients and the courts.
Okay. We have some time, so let me ask you another question. Is there anything you would like to share or let our viewers know to give them a little bit more of a perspective or understanding about you and what you might offer as a judge and how you would handle cases and people who come before you as a judge?
Well, first, I believe that you need to know that being a judge is community service. And in my lifetime, I've always offered community service. All the way back from coaching in the playgrounds to being in Dawn Busters Kiwanis, where we started the Rewards for Reading, which helps the public school systems in Jefferson Parish. We've actually won an international award for that. I'm a member of the Knights of Columbus. I've been a member of many school boards. So having not only my legal background, but my community service, I believe that is going to give me an advantage on the bench because I will know the people and I will know the issues that come before me because I've seen people's problems. And again, this district court handles all types of cases, criminal and civil. Actually, almost 70% of the cases will be civil litigation. And I believe that my experience is the right experience for the courts.
Okay. Next question. Can you think of or point to a moment in your career or maybe from your personal life when you had to make a tough decision, make a tough call that maybe wasn't politically popular? You had to make a decision that maybe wasn't the best thing for you, that politically, I mean to say, that you believe might demonstrate more to the viewers more about you and your attitude for doing the right thing, even if it's not politically advantageous for you?
Well, handling a lot of different cases and more importantly, the domestic cases. You have to make a lot of tough calls. You have to represent your client the best you can. There are children involved. There are support issues involved. And there's a lot of times where maybe your client, you may not have 100% belief in him, but you have to represent your client. And being an attorney, you have to represent your clients. And I've made tough calls, but also I believe that I've been fair. I've been fair to the legal system.
Okay. Next question, not as difficult to think of any examples. Why don't you tell us what your ballot number is and your website, if you could do that for us.
Absolutely. My ballot number is number 75. My website is rooney4judge.com.
Okay. And on your website, people can, obviously, they can learn more about you there and more details about your platform. And if they want to give you offer a yard sign spot or something, that's obviously that's the way people can reach out to you, correct?
That is correct.
Well, Mr. Rooney, thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing these insights into you and your law practice and your hopes and aspirations for the bench as a judge, if elected. That's all the time we have. Now, thank you for joining us for this special election edition of John Redmann, Power of Attorney. It is our hope that with this information, you are better empowered to make your voting decisions and that you will vote by mail or in person and do so safely. Remember, you can view this show and previous shows at johnredmannpoa.com. Be on the lookout for more special election episodes of John Redmann, Power of Attorney, and there are many more local races that we're going to be telling you about for the November 3rd election. For specific voter instructions, remember you can visit govotela.org. I'm your host, Attorney John Redmann, and I look forward to seeing you next time.